Hello, Atonement members. You may have seen in our August newsletter that we have information about the council and the staff as we are having conversation about what worship will look like in the fall. Now, right now we are experimenting in July and August with different kinds of worship, namely outdoor worship, which is 2 worship services where we can sit in chairs, but we're well spaced apart, and we don't have one service, right, so that everyone's crammed together. And then the other kind of service we're working with is the parking lot worship service. The benefits of this is we can get everybody together into one space because everyone's safely in their car. People can see each other afterwards if they wish to get out of their cars and talk, but it's a little easier for us to be together in one spot. Now, this is obviously something that can continue even when the weather starts to get a little bit cooler. If it's raining or something else, people can be safely in their cars and they can have their car radio tuned to the station. And even if worship leaders are inside the building, there's still a connection there. But once it starts to get really cold, we have to talk about our options. So you see that there's 3 options, which kind of mimics what the schools have been discussing as well. The first option is sort of just going back to online worship. Obviously, this is the safest way that we can worship together. We're all in our own homes, and we are able to participate in the way that we did all spring. Obviously, the downside of that is you can't see one another, and for some people, just being alone has been very difficult. The other option on the far end of the extreme is that we do find a way to worship inside the building. But here's the thing. In conversation with many churches and with ELCA recommendations, what that would look like is probably 3 separate worship services where you sign up for a worship service so that we don't have more than 25 people in the room. When you come to worship, an usher will tell you where to sit to make sure that family units are 6 feet away from everybody. And we can't sing. We can't sing in worship because that projecting of the aerosols of the voice will go far beyond 6 feet. And over the course of 30 to 40 minutes, however long the worship service is, that would really mill around the whole room. So worship would look very different if we were to worship in person. And then honestly, once worship is done, we would not have coffee fellowship. People would be asked to leave and just go home. So obviously the benefit to having an in-person worship service is that you get to be in the building. You get to see worship leaders up in front. You can at least hear music done for you, even if you're not able to sing. And you can see some other people, but it would not be the same. Until COVID is done and we have a vaccine, in-person worship in the building will not look like it used to be. Then the other option is a kind of a hybrid. And one thing this might look like is that one week we worship in person with the 3 different worship services, and the next week we have an online worship service. The reason why people have brought up that style is that it allows for us to have a taste of in-person worship, and obviously always live stream. So if you're not comfortable ever being in the building, you will always have a live stream option. But the 2 weeks in between worship services allows for people to be at home, and if they get any symptoms of COVID, which usually don't manifest until 5 or even 10 days, they wouldn't be coming back to church the next week and transmitting that without knowing it. So that's the reason for the hybrid, and schools have a similar kind of a process, other workplaces as well. So this is honestly the conversation pieces we're having. And council members and staff members are going to be calling you in the next week to check in with you, but also to see what you're comfortable and where you are with your physical health as well as emotionally and what you're looking forward to. then we're going to just have that big conversation as a council. What is it that we think is the safest and the best option to do? And we will let you all know by the beginning of September. So that's what we're looking at. Those are our options that other churches are discussing as well. And we hope that we can keep everyone safe and also help to keep us united as a congregation. And that is what's really important, is to walk with each other in the safest and best way for our physical health, our emotional health, and our mental health. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.